Hi and welcome everyone. This is the Hobo Prepper and I am Friar Tuck. So I'm taking out my gear and I'm going to show you a little bit by little bit some of the gear that I have kept, why I've kept it, some of the gear that I'm still trying to get rid of, and kind of the functional use of it. So right now what I'm showing you is my tool bag. So as you see this is my poncho. This goes in here into this bag. It's going to go on the very bottom. All right, put that in there. But let me show you a couple of things. Now I gotta get in my tent and grab one more thing. But as you see, I have this propane here. Okay, so this is my fuel for cooking. This costs about $3.46 at Walmart. Every time you need to replace it, you'll get probably, I don't know, maybe 7 or 8 cooks out of it if you want to cook a meal. You also have my water filtration system. So this is a Sawyer water filtration system. So see these two bags right here? These right here are the 32-ounce bladders. So these have been probably the most useful part of this whole kit so far for me, because you know, when you're static and you're kind of living out in the woods, you can go in, you can grab water. So I get 64 ounces of water plus 20 ounces in my water bottle. That way I can do dishes, I can have water for the night, and I can cook. And this should be enough water. And if it's not enough water, then you probably need to conserve or figure out what it is that you're doing. Okay, so I have the Sawyer water filter. Now, I will tell you that there are 2 different filters, and I made the mistake on the filter. So this one does chemical, dissolved solids, and chlorine, but it does not do bacteria. There is another one, same price, but it is designed for bacteria. So I'm going to be replacing this part right here soon. But at least for the time being, I haven't really needed it much because I have been on city drinking water. Okay, so next thing is my Bowie. Okay, so this Bowie, as you can see, let me pull it out a little bit because it has been used. And so you see like these areas here where there's, you know, a little bit of underbrush. We're using it to cut that stuff down. And hold on a second. As you see, there's really not much nicks in the blade, too much. And it hasn't rusted very much, but this thing, it came out of the box sharp. It's worth it. Now I know you can get it at Walmart because they carry a lot of mossy oak stuff. Oops, I put it in backwards. Because they carry a lot of mossy oak stuff, but you can also get it on Amazon. Now this was a cheap buy because my best friend, he's got a custom knife that he smithed himself for me. So this was just to kind of hold me over until I get there. Okay, the next thing is, and if you are on my Patreon channel, I'm working on Vimeo right now and getting the videos uploaded up there, but I actually showed how we use this tent tape here. It's really good tent tape. I mean, as you see, it's gotten wet, but because it's got paper underneath, so it doesn't worry about ruining it. And so I've actually patched a couple of holes in tents. I still have to do one in mine, but this stuff right here, it is gold when you're trying to repair your tent, especially if it gets a rip, a tear, or a leak. So this right here are the mesh. So if you notice, the dome of my tent is mesh. And so I've actually used one on my tent, and I've used one on Puckett's tent to be able to get those holes. You don't want mosquitoes getting in, plus you don't want it to tear anymore. Now I will tell you, it's a little bit tricky on the sticky part, so just be prepared to fiddle around with it, but it does work and it has held up the test of time. So this is something that I traded for, and apparently it is battery operated. Damn. Okay, but so I've got this right here. Now I traded for this, or this was given to me, but this is in place of the flashlight on my phone, and I prefer to use this when I can, but it's usually at the bottom of my bag. Okay. Also, so I've got a 100-foot paracord. Now I have had to use this a couple of times to tie to trees to hang dry some of my stuff because it can't go in the dryer. And so this 100-foot paracord has been extremely useful. Also, so this is the footprint. This normally this is versatile. You could use this like if you gotta sleep outside of your tent and you just want something to have under you to protect your sleeping pad or whatever. This is great. You can also use it to cover up stuff. So when it would rain, I would throw this over the ladies' book bags, or not book bags, suitcases, because that's what they were carrying around. And this would keep the suitcases dry, so it would be one less thing that would get completely soaked. So this has been versatile, and it's the I got the 1.5 man tent size. So they have 1.5, and then 2 man. I got the 1.5, and my tent, even though it says a 1 to 2 man tent, is a 1 man tent. So this is just a little bit bigger, but having that extra lip has been a benefit, because then I can kind of use it as a vestibule, like if I need to put things out there that I don't want to get dirty, and plus it just kind of helps stop the rain a little bit more. Okay, let's see what else. So this is something that I'm still trying to get rid of, because I really don't need it. It takes up too much space, one. But this is, so Park Tool, in the bike industry, Park Tool is one of, it's the standard bearer for all the different tools. So if you have a good tool, if you have good tools, then you're going to get Park Tools from when you're dealing with your bike. So this is a chain cleaner. It's nice, it's fluffy, but I would rather just use a container, put some degreaser in it, and do it by hand. I prefer cleaning my chain by hand. So this is something I've got left to give away. I'm probably going to find somebody that will be able to use it and see if they'll trade me anything for it. So, and then let's see, this is extra. I got to get rid of that. Okay, so I've got this here, which this is so I can clamp it to right here. Okay, and so that way I can run one on one side, one on the other side. So if something happens, and let's say I lose my bag, or not lose my bag, but I lose my bike, I could still carry everything by just kind of one on one side and one on the other side. So you see that there's 2 there, and then just carry the backpack on me. That way, if something ever happens to my bike, it gets smashed and I got to leave it behind, I can still carry my stuff. So that was important for me to make sure to keep. Let's see here. I also have, this is something my stepmom gave me. It is I call it my hygiene kit, or not my hygiene kit, but my first aid kit. It's got bandages in it, and let's see here. It's got bandages and pre-alcohol pads and all kinds of stuff in it, so that I could deal with cuts and scrapes. Now, Sabrina took the other stuff that I added, which was I had some round band-aids that was given to me, and I also had an ace bandage wrap for foot, but she ended up taking that in the breakup somehow. So, but normally I would have that. I'd actually went and gotten out of the way for that. This right here, I haven't used it yet, but I bought like 4 straps, and I ended up giving the rest to my stepmom and just keeping one in case I need it to be able to tighten something up to put it on my bike or something like that. And then of course I have my Bluetooth headset. This I'm going to be looking to trade away. Don't use it. So I will probably let's see, I will probably get something good out of it. I'm hoping to get something reasonable out of it, but hold on a second, guys. Let me show you some more of my gear. Okay, so now I want to show you my cook set. So it comes with a cup. As you see, I had some soda in there. So this cup, at first I didn't use it because I always had a water bottle, but if you have something other than soda and you want to put it in a cup, this has become useful to me since I've been here. Okay, so this is a 2-pot cooking system here. Let's see here. But what I like about it is that it comes with, if I can open it up, it comes with utensils. So it comes with a fork, a knife, a butter knife, a fork, a butter knife, and a spoon, and they fold in half. and then they go in here. And then on top of that, you also get this is the thing that I hook up to the fuel. This is my burner. So it's just a single burner. Now it does go compact. Let me see if I can get it open and out. So as you see here, I mean, it as you can see, and then these right here, they kind of go out and they have their own stop. And it also comes with a base, and the base seems to work pretty well. So let me show you some more things that I have. Okay, so let me show you this bike and how it's held up. So the bike itself has held up pretty well. So let's look here. Oh crap, there's so I also got some Solve that was just given to me. But as you see, as soon as it rains, the chain rusts. Now, you might think, oh, that's bad. And in some ways it is, but it's not, because I keep cleaning the chain, I keep reapplying the lube, and it still keeps on going. But being out in the elements, you need to be used to that. Now, if you guys remember, I had a Garmin up here. I gave my Garmin away to the guy that does bike repairs. He volunteers here. I figured it was a nice thing to do for him, considering he does he fixes our bikes for us. Also, I have gotten the Rhino Walk. So the rear saddlebags are Rhino Walk. So I got this as Rhino Walk. So this is where my tent goes. And then if you see down there, you see that's the food bag. Okay, so that's where all my food is. Okay, and so that bag goes on front of this bag. So I put my tent in here and maybe a couple other things over time. That way it doesn't go all into my sleeping bag, or into the bag that I carry all my sleeping gear in. So the top saddlebag is usually where. So the side this one over here is my tool bag, which you guys have seen most of my tools. I still got a few more to show you. And then over here is my clothes bag, and I'll kind of show you guys how I do my clothes, because that's important. And then on top, the third bag, which is also a backpack, that's where I have my camera, my sleeping gear, such as my pad and my sleeping bag, and then anything else that's valuable. So all my valuable stuff I keep in that top bag, because when I get ready to leave, or I got to put my bike somewhere, I want the most important stuff, the most valuable stuff, to be on my back while I go around, because the tool bag I can lose. I mean, there's a couple of things in there, but they're not expensive to replace. And then the clothes, I mean, I can replace those as well. Maybe not as good, but my sleeping bag and my sleeping pad and my camera are things that I cannot do. So as you see here, this tent here is the 2-mount tent. Now this thing will hold up to most rainstorms. I mean, I had it out in Hurricane, what was it? Not Katrina, the one before Nicole. I think it was Hurricane Ian. So I had this tent out there. It did perfectly fine. It has been in a deluge and has stayed perfectly fine, perfectly dry. This stuff sheds water very, very well. Also, if you notice, and part of this is because I haven't got the back pulled. So at night, what I do is I unhook that, because I want that to come up close to the tent. And that's kind of how I retain the heat, because as you see, it keeps the airflow down there. So you can either, you can have it vented, or you can have it not vented. But as you see that over time though, it will sag if you leave it stretched out, or if you stretch it too hard or too far, which I like to have my top here. I like to have it really, very sleek, because it makes it so shedding water is good. And the way it sheds water, and it doesn't, part of it is the placement of your tent, but you want to kind of be on somewhat of a downhill or side hill slope, because you don't want this water to shed off and then come back. But if it does, and you've got that footprint down and you've kind of folded it back a little bit, all that water will go under the footprint and underneath your tent, and you will be perfectly dry. Okay, so let me show you what my sleeping gear looks like. So there have been some changes since the last time I showed you guys my sleeping gear. So as you see, I have my Teton pillow. That pillow is I love my pillow. I would not go without it. I mean, for $15, it was totally worth it. I do have to fold it and have to sleep with it at night though. But as you see here, I still have the Teton Sport 20-degree sleeping bag. But as you see, underneath it is the fleece blanket in which I got. And I like the design. That's part of the reason why I traded for it. So I got rid of some clippers for it. And so this is on the inside, and this setup right here is how I actually have been able to stay warm all nights or most nights. Well, actually, no, all nights, because this has been what works for me. Sometimes I use my coat. Sometimes I might use the tarp or the poncho. But as far as staying warm in 20-degree temperatures, even below 20-degree temperatures, I think I have the right gear. And as you see, this has plenty of room, because as you see, my sleeping pad's up there, plus I still have plenty of room down here at the foot, which is where I put my stuff. Now, you see that down comforter that's there? That will not be going with me, but that was what I was using while I was waiting for my sleeping pad to show up. Now, there is some other stuff that I have that I could show you, but it's not really poignant. So what I will do, though, is I will come to my conclusion now. Okay, guys, and before I do the conclusion, I want to show you one last thing. This is my towel. This is what I use to dry off with every day after a shower. So I usually put it on the outside of my bag. But so just to kind of get into the rest of my gear, because there is more gear, but this is the stuff that I use on a regular basis. The water bags I use on a regular basis. The cook pot, I use that from time to time, especially when I am on the road. I use that all the time. That's why I'm very protective of the amount of fuel that I use, because I know, well, it sucks when you run out and then you either have no money or you just have nowhere where you can pick one up. It can be a real pain. No, I don't think I need an extra one, but when I get to Tallahassee, I'm going to need to replace that can of fuel, because that's a brand new can. I bought it and I've made sure not to use it because of, I need to use it when I'm on the road. But with everything that I have there, including this, and you've also got the jacket that you guys have heard me talk about, and the gloves that you've heard me talk about, and then there's a pair of Rock Brothers cycling pants, and I haven't tried them on yet since I've been out here. I was thinking about possibly trying them on tomorrow, but the thing is that they're meant for 30 to 50 degree weather. I think I may have overbought on that one. I'm not 100% sure yet. I just haven't gotten to a point where it's like I feel comfortable enough to wear them all day, because I'm worried about the breathing and the sweating, and then getting super cold legs, because it doesn't breathe. But as far as this gear, will it help me survive? Will it help me bug out? Yes, it definitely will, because I've got food, I've got water, I've got way to carry my food, I've got shelter so that I can stay in from the rain. And Puckett, he called me yesterday and I got to talk to him. Apparently he had pneumonia, and a lot of it has to be with, you see that tent right there? That tent ain't going to stop much of a raindrop, even with tarp on the inside, just because it leaks through the way that it's designed. It's not designed to be able to be in wet weather, and when it's wet and cold, you get pneumonia like what he got. And so that's why it's important that you find a tent that sheds water properly. On one hand, I did a lot of research because I wanted a waterproof tent or a rainproof tent, and I wanted something that was going to be durable. So, this tent right here that you see behind me, that's a $40 tent from Walmart. That's basically, it's a 4-man tent, so it's $10 per person. Versus my tent that you saw, I spent about $70. So it's about $70 per person. And the price per person that you're going to pay for that, in the grand scheme of things, determines the quality that you're going to get. And so this tent, it's held up, it's been durable. I've slept in it and it's been up for almost 2 months now. And so being up for 2 months and having me sleep in it, having other people sleep in it, because I let other people borrow it, those things, it's all held up to all of that. The bike is holding up. The saddlebags are holding up. I mean, I've got quite a bit of room in my saddlebags, and I'm kind of filling it up with food. So I've got like 4 cans of cream and mushroom soup so I can mix it with my rice. And that way I can at least have something semi-decent that my stomach likes. But guys, this is the gear that I have. This is the gear that I use on a regular basis, and this is the gear that will always be with me. The only thing that I need to change about my gear is I may either want to upgrade or replace my tent later on to something that is more of a 4-season tent or a mountaineering tent, especially if I'm going to be in cold weather. But something like that's going to cost me a couple $100 because I want something that can be versatile. So like you could take the side panels off and like unzip them so that you can get air during the summer, but during the winter, you put those on so that it keeps the heat in. I'm going to probably want to upgrade to that, but do I need it for the route and for the place in which I'm in? No, I don't need it. I haven't. If I got into snowy areas, then I would need it. But for what it is now, it works. And I mean, I think I got an extra 5 degrees last night just by closing up my tent the way I did. And it kept me warm because when I open up to go to the bathroom in the middle of the night, I can definitely feel the temperature change. And it kind of sucks that I have to let all that cold air in. The other thing that I might want to upgrade is I want a sleeping bag that is probably -20, but I want it to be able to work in warmer temperatures as well, because either that or I want something that's a 0-degree comfort. If it's 0-degree comfort, -20 for survival, I could definitely do. But I think I want a better sleeping bag for future, just for comfort. But does my current sleeping bag work for the situation I'm in? Oh yeah, it works. Especially adding that blanket to it, and then once I add the wool blanket to it and put the tiger blanket underneath my pad, it will give me even more insulation to where I may not really want to get another bag, because the thing is there's a catch-22 with these bags. The catch-22 is that if you want it to be lightweight and to be able to fit into your portable gear, it's got to be like 20-degree survival versus 20-degree comfort. But that would mean that they would have to stuff it with more filling, and they'd have to put more stuff in it to be able to keep it warm. But then that takes up space, and then it becomes harder and harder to fit into your portable gear, whether it be a backpack or whether it be a saddlebag on a bike, or just carrying it alone. I mean, the 0-degree Celsius bag that I had, that thing, it was perfect, but it was too big. I couldn't put it in anything. It would have to be on the outside because it was about half the size of a backpack, of a 75-liter backpack. It was about half the size, and that takes up all the room. So, I mean, I'd want to change that, but other than that, all this gear, I stand by it, and I think most of this gear, unless it breaks down, and I just decide to upgrade to get something a little bit more high-end, all this gear is going to stick with me. I don't really feel the need to purchase or replace much more gear, other than maybe some comfort things that I want, like getting me some wool socks and maybe changing a jacket around or something like that over time. But as far as the gear goes, if you had to bug out even in the middle of this winter, as long as you're not getting snowed on, you'd be able to survive comfortably with everything that I've done, and you do it just fine. So anyways, guys, you know how to help the channel: like, subscribe, share. You could also purchase through my affiliate links. I get a commission on that. Also, you could you can leave something in the tip jar, or you can come over to Patreon and get these videos 3 days early. So you'll get an email every time I make a post, and then it'll have a link to a video that you can watch, and you get to see it before everybody else does. And that way you can keep up with me and keep ahead of the curve in case, you know, you're interested in certain tasks that I'm doing. Anyways, guys, thank you for watching, and I will see you in the next video.